that I answer? No?
Just part 3 on the assignment.
Okay, assignment 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I will talk about that when I get into talking about assignments.
Okay.
Anybody else? No? Okay, that's cool. All right, so this is COM 115, and COM 115 is interpersonal communication. If you don't know already, usually in any program you take at the collegiate level, you have to have a COM class. Sometimes it's a public speaking course, sometimes it's a survey course like COM 100, which covers all the ranges of specialization in communication. But for Brian, for your degree program, the powers that be selected interpersonal. And I think it's a really smart choice because it's going to help you in your personal and your professional life. And in the design of this course, we still try to hit different areas that you would hit in a survey course. So hopefully you'll leave this class and you will feel pretty well-rounded. So let's talk about just the outlook of the course and how it's structured. The first half of the course is going to be spent building a foundation. So we're going to look at the self to start with. It's awfully hard to figure out how to communicate with other people unless you understand how you communicate. And that's why we start with the self-concept worksheet and plan to help you learn. Well, you're learning new language anyway to help you explain communication. So we're keeping in mind that communication is something that we have always and ever done. Since we were babies, we've been communicating in various different ways. So you're learning language to help you explain that communication. You have to understand how you communicate and how that language relates to you so that you can better communicate with other people, knowing the position that you're coming from. So we're going to look at a little bit of theory. We're going to look at the dynamics of intercultural communication, and we are also going to look at conflict. Then in the second half of the course, we're going to take a deep dive into applying those concepts. So we're going to look at how those concepts apply in friendships and in work and family life. Any questions about that? Super fun. All right, so now let's move over to assignment expectations. Okay, so you have got all written assignments for this class. They're all short answer. And what I want you to make sure that you do is that you ask questions before you submit assignments. So for example, your assignment is due on Sunday and you don't actually work on your assignment till Sunday. You get to question number 5 and you're like, oh no, I have no idea what I'm supposed to write here. Instead of trying to make something up and kind of halfway it, I would really encourage you to ask me the question and then submit your assignment. So if it's like Sunday night at 8 and you don't know how to answer a question, I would encourage you to turn it in late and ask me the question and let me answer it for you so that you can submit a correct answer rather than just trying to figure it out. Because when you do that, it actually helps both of us not waste any time. You're not looking at the assignment for like 15 minutes, an hour, trying to figure something out and then just come up with something so that I can write you back and tell you why it's wrong and how to fix it. We can cut out that whole middle chunk if you'll just ask me the question, let me answer it for you, and then have you submit your assignment. I would like for you to submit your assignments on time, but I'm very flexible with allowing you to have extra time if you need it, because learning is the most important thing to me. It is important to manage your time, and if that means turning it in a little bit late so that you can learn, then I'm all for it. In the meantime, though, you might see a 0 placed as a temporary grade if your assignment goes beyond Tuesday for submission. It's only temporary. You can turn your assignment in and get full credit. You can always get full credit except for turning things in at the very end of the class. So I'll get to that in just a moment. But always, always, always seek for mastery. Now, again, write the best that you can. Some people have had English before you come to this course, and some people have not taken English. So don't worry about whether or not you're a good writer. I'm not judging you or grading you based on your skill as a writer. I'm grading based on your ability to show that you understand the concepts and that you can apply them. So a quick cheat to help you be able to write well in this class and any class is to look at the question, restate the question as a topic sentence. So for example, if I say, hey, what are the assignment expectations for this class? Your first sentence would be, the assignment expectations for this class are blank. You would tell me what the expectation is in a definition, and then you would explain with an example of how you would meet an expectation. So that is a really quick, condensed way to help you write short answer questions, not only in this class, but in other classes. Third, Learn-It notes. Make sure you're taking notes during the Learn-Its. General education Learn-Its are at a different set level than paralegal for sure. And I'm not sure about the other ones, but it takes about 4 days to finish a Learn-It for a chapter. So make sure that you stay on top of that. A way to make it go much faster is to take notes. And I've posted a video in the announcements about how to do that. Just one way that you can take notes during Learn-Its. It's super helpful to look down at a piece of paper and see the answer rather than trying to always recall it out of your brain. So before I talk about the late policy, any questions about those 3 things? No? Okay, good. Late policy. So as I said earlier, you can turn in assignments late. You can get full credit. You can resubmit assignments for mastery and still get full credit. There is no reason why you cannot get an A in this class. Everyone, as much as you're able, should be able to walk out of this class with 100%. It's absolutely attainable. What do you need to do though? I need you to turn in all activities from week 1 through 3 before week 4, and from weeks 4 through 7 before week 8. Now, that being said, if you communicate with me your needs, we can always wiggle around that. Okay? Okay, I think I'm seeing nonverbal communication. I'm seeing head nods. This looks good. Let's move on. Response time. When can you expect me to respond to you? Okay, usually within 24 hours. I am very available. I don't have like a full-time day job where I'm in an office. I'm a homeschool mom, so everything you see behind me, this is my life. Just like everyone with COVID right now, my husband is working from home, so he's not there right now, but you may have seen his beautiful bald head a little bit earlier. He's back there, so I'm available to you. Definitely within 24 hours. If you don't hear from me in that time period, send me a reminder. Hey, I asked you a question. Please get back to me. I seem to get inbox messages and text messages a lot better than I do comments. When you write a comment in an assignment, I get an email about that comment. So just in the effort of being redundant and making sure that you're getting to me, if you write me a comment, go ahead and send me an email as well or a text message. Now, what's the big deal about Sundays? Well, I try to take at least 1 day off a week, and for me, that happens to be Sunday. Now, I know that may not bode so well for some of you who are doing your assignments on Sundays, which is when they are due. So text me. I'll do my best to try to get back to you, but I'm generally not online on Sunday because I got to take a day to sharpen my axe. Has anyone ever heard the adage of sharpening your axe? No? I'm going to tell it to you because I think it will be helpful. I heard this a few years ago. So the idea is that a guy goes out and he cuts down trees for a living. And he cuts and he cuts and he cuts. And he's chopping down trees and chopping down trees. And the more days he works in a row cutting down trees, the harder it gets to get the trees to come down. So a friendly neighbor comes by and he's like, gosh, I don't know what is wrong. I'm cutting and I'm chopping the same as I was 3 days ago and they're just not falling as quickly. And his friend says, well, have you taken any time to sharpen your axe? What? Well, your blade's probably getting dull. You probably need to take some time to sharpen that axe and sharpen it up. So wouldn't you know it, he takes a day and he sharpens his axe. And the next day he goes out, bam, he is cutting down trees like wildfire. So moral of the story is you got to take a day to rest to sharpen your axe so that you can be just as sharp in the days to come. So that's what Sunday is for me. I hope that each of you carves out time to rest. Doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter what time it is. Sleeping doesn't really count. I mean, if you're not getting enough sleep, you should sleep, but you should also take some time to relax, watch TV, read a book, sit outside, whatever it is for you that helps you stay healthy, and take that rest time. Let's move on. And let's talk about Yellow Dig. Rounds of applause. Woo! We all can't wait to do Yellow Dig. What? Do I sense some disagreement in the room? No! Okay, I know. Yellow Dig is the bane of our existence. There is a new Yellow Dig coming out called Yellow Dig Engage, which is so much better than the current Yellow Dig. Still Yellow Dig. Why Yellow Dig? Well, it's because we are working in an online environment. When you are doing classes online, it's easy to feel like an island and to feel like you're doing it by yourself. And Yellow Dig is a way for us to build community. Like, I love that I have seen, some of you already know each other, right? So you've been in classes together. Now you're in this class, which is not in your specific degree program, but you already know each other. And Yellow Dig is a way to help keep those relationships going. And it also gives you a place to talk about and apply the concepts in a serious and fun way. So that's why we do Yellow Dig. It helps you get that conversation time that you wouldn't normally get if you weren't doing classes online. How does grading for Yellow Dig work? So for grading, Yellow Dig is worth 200 points. It's 20% of your grade. So you get 100 points the first 4 weeks and another 100 points the second 4 weeks. There is a buffer. Each week you can earn a maximum of 35 points. So I encourage you strongly to shoot for 35 points every single week. Because if you have a week that's unforeseen that gets crazy busy for you, or you have illness, or you just, like I just can't one week, then you've got some extra points built in so that you can have like a buffer zone. So what I like to do is I'll grade you at the end of week or middle of week 4. Let's say you get 89 points. Well, let's say when we get to the end of the week 8, you have got more than 200 points. You have like 229 points. Well, I'm going to go back to those first 4 weeks, and I'm going to plunk those extra points up to 100 in that first 4 weeks. Does that make sense? So any and all points you earn up to 200, you're going to get somehow. So get those points. It's seriously the easiest 200 points you're ever going to get in a class, and I'm going to make it even easier for you. I love this feature. Okay, so I'm going to give you a badge every time you carry on discussion in one of your posts. Does anyone know how much badges are worth? Yes, that's right. They're worth 5 points. So you post a response to a Spark, you get 5 points. And then someone asks you a question about your Spark, or they comment on it. And then you come back and you can continue the conversation. You answer the question. I'm going to give you a badge for that. Then someone else posts, or that person writes back to you. You go back and you post again. I'm going to give you 5 more points. So in one post, you've gotten not only your original points, but 15 extra points in badges. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. So it's a really easy way to get as many points as possible and to have fun. Carrying on conversation with your classmates and feeling like you're included and that degree of warmth makes it kind of worth it. Okay? Now let me, I'm going to go to questions, but let me follow up on Jesse's question about part 3 of assignment 1. Has everyone had a chance to look at that assignment yet?
Yes.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, yes and no. So The third part is asking you to apply Schutz's tenets of inclusion, control, and affection to a relationship. So Schutz's theory basically says that everyone needs to feel a degree of inclusion in a relationship. Everyone needs to feel a sense of control in a relationship, like some amount of power. And everyone needs to feel a degree of affection, warmth from a relationship. And depending on how you rate in those areas, you will have a certain level of member satisfaction in that relationship. So what I'm asking you to do in the third part is talk about that relationship. Who is it? I'll use my sister, for example. My sister is my sister. She's been that way since I was born. I'm older than she is, and she reminds me of that often. But being older means being more mature, right? Yeah. So degree of inclusion, I'm going to give that a numerical, a number from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being less, 10 being higher. I'm going to say a 10. I feel very included in my relationship with my sister because of this. I'm going to explain why. Control. Okay, I'll just be a brat, and let's say I feel 3 for control. I'm older, but she's super controlling. And then I'm going to say, you guys should be laughing right now. Don't tell her, though, okay? I'm going to say 3, and then I'm going to explain why I don't feel like I have any sense of control in the relationship. Like, she doesn't answer when I call her, but she expects me to answer every time she calls me. We can never have Christmas at my house. It always has to be at her house for X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's control. And then affection, I would do the same thing. Say whether or not I feel loved, warmth. I would explain why. And then the final part is saying, okay, taking all this into account on a level of 1 to 10, how satisfied am I with this relationship and why? Does that help, Jesse? All right, very good. So any other questions before we get ready to conclude this? I feel that's
Well, it helped me too, because like Jesse, I was stuck on that part too.
Same with me.
Okay, so that helped?
It did.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Good. And then one more thing, not in this assignment, but the rest of the assignments, there is a study guide posted when you open up the page for the assignment before you download the worksheet, I think. Well, this isn't a worksheet, but before you open the assignment, there's a link to a study guide that's a document. In the study guide, it gives you a list of concepts that you could use for each answer that will help direct you. Okay? And again, just like we just talked about Schutz's theory, if you have any questions about any concepts, I'm happy to talk with you or hop on Zoom and go over those with you.
Okay, and the part of the communication with others, that is said, consider 2 different people that you know well.
Yeah, so you're going to talk about whether or not you have an assertive communication style or responsive communication style. So that's the same thing, showing that you understand what it means to be assertive or to be responsive. And if you haven't gotten to that point in your Learn-Its, you should probably finish your Learn-Its before you get there.
Oh, I'm through with my Learn-Its.
Okay, good. So do you need help? Do you need help with understanding that concept?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
didn't understand exactly what that first part that said, you know.
Yeah, so you'll just pick a person and you're going to talk about whether or not, or 2 people, just compare and contrast their styles. One
Okay.
person, they're more assertive because of this, or they're more responsive because of whatever behaviors.
I got my sister and my nephew or son.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions? Anybody remember DARE? The DARE program in school? So when I say any other questions, what does that bring to mind to you? Anybody? I always think this is your brain on drugs. This is your brain off drugs. Any questions?
Oh,
Did I do it wrong?
The DARE program was a letdown.
Aw. Well, I'll have you know that I got to speak at the 5th grade graduation. So was that prophetic or what into my future career? Alrighty, so here's my text number. You can text me anytime. It's not a telephone number like calling me, but you can text me, use Canvas inbox. Here's my formal email for Bryan University. And that's pretty much it for the course expectations. If you were worried about the course at all, I hope that this has helped ease any anxieties that you might have. And I'm looking forward to working with each of you.
Okay.
All done?
Me too.
Okay, so
All
that's it.
done.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you.
Don't take the number out yet. Hold on.
Okay, I'll leave it up. But otherwise, you're free to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.